I will start with a quote from a random person on the internet, which is, I chose to be a gamer because nothing epic ever happens in my real life. I want to talk about video games because I think it it had a big impact in my life, in my whole life, and it still has a big impact in my life. Video games are a part not only of my childhood, but of my life in general. Uh, for me, it's the best way to tell a story because it's the most immersive way to live this story. So, well, first in this essay, I'm going to talk about when I started playing video games and how did I start it, at what age. Secondly, I will talk about my favorite games of all time, the top 5 games, my top 5 favorite games of all time. And finally, I talk to you about how video games had a big impact in my life. Well, first, I will tell you how did I start playing video games. I remember that I was 3 years old. I barely got to live in the earth when I started playing. And I started playing because of my sister. I remember that my dad loved video games. I think he still loves video games. But when my older sister was born, he bought the Nintendo 64, I think, and my sister used to watch him playing video games, well, playing Zelda Ocarina of Time, which was the game from the age, I think the best game of the year. But she kind of got that habit as well, and when I was born, a couple of years after, she taught me how to play video games. And I remember that the first video game that I played was Mortal Kombat 1, which is a it's not recommended for any children to play that game. But well, my parents let me play it for some sort of reason. And I remember that when I fell in love with video games was when my grandfather bought me a game called Hot Wheels Big Dad, which was about toy cars and everything, and it was a racing game. And I remember that for me at the time it was the best game ever created in the whole story, the whole history of human being. And well, I with that game I got hooked into that world, and after that there is some story. So secondly, I will talk about my top 5 favorite games of all time. So number 5, I will say that Overwatch is one of my best favorite games, which is a shooter, a hero shooter they call it, where you can be a knight or you can be a gnome. I don't know how to say, well, an elf, let's say in that way, which is kind of weird, but for me, well, at the time it was fun. I got addicted to that game, I remember. Number 4, I will say that it's the game that I told you, Hot Wheels Be That, because it introduced me more into that gaming world, and I still have some of the best memories that I ever lived in my childhood with that game. Uh, Number 3, for me, number 3, I will say that it's Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's one of the recent games that I played, and well, what can I say about that game? For me, I'll say that it has a beautiful world, a beautiful art style, and well, there's nothing that I can say that it's bad about that game. Well, I like it a lot. Number 2, I will say that it's GTA 4. For me, it has the best storyline in all GTA games, which is about a guy called Niko Bellic. He's an immigrant, a Serbian immigrant, and he escaped from Serbia because of the mafias and everything. And well, the story is very deep, and it's very mature, I will say. But the game is very funny to play. But the thing that I really love is the story about the game. And for me, the number one, the best game that I ever played is called Nier Automata. What can I say about that game? For me, everything about that game is perfect. No, beautiful, I would say. It has a good story. It's actually pretty fun to play it. Even that the story is sad though, uh, it's very fun to play it. It's easy to play it as well, and well, the main character is a girl, which I think is pretty, and yeah, I will say that that's my favorite game. And well, finally, I will talk about the impact that video games had in my life and still has in my life. So, well, since I was a child, as I told you at the beginning, I used to play video games a lot at a young age. I was 3, I think, and I really don't regret it at all because one of the best memories that I had about my childhood was actually playing video games. I used to play a lot of games back then. I remember that I played more than I played with other kids or talked to other kids, and well, I don't regret it at all, as I told you. I think it was a good way to spend my time and a pretty healthy way to spend it. So, because I remember that those kids were watching porn instead of playing with toys and everything. I wasn't playing with toys as well, but I will say that playing video games is it's healthier than watching porn. But the impact that that video games still has in my life, I met my best friend playing video games, and without them, I will say that I probably never met him. Without video games, probably I will never met him at all. So we still get along. Not as well. We don't go out as much as we do before, but he's still one of my best friend. So I'm thankful to video games that I had the chance to meet him at the beginning, and my best memories was in 2019, and it was playing with him a lot. I remember that I used to wake up with excitement for playing something with him, and well, just to lose our time playing something or doing stupid things, right? Well, that's something that I really miss, and I hope that maybe in the future I will get to live those moments back with him or with another person, hopefully. But I'm thankful with video games. And in conclusion, I will say that video games kinda shaped who am I now in the present, and I'm very thankful to my sister that taught me how to play video games, because without it or without her, I think I will never discover that kind of world, which is a very amazing world, and without my grandfather as well. So what can I say about it? There's a lot of people out there that loves video game as much as I do, and well, I think we all have that kind of love towards video games and their characters, which where you have some pretty nice characters as well that you can feel related to. But anyway, that's my essay. And sorry if the quality of the video or the recording is not good. It's because I'm recording it in another phone. So yeah.